is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening all around. Station next week with another ground people that will come and talk about the state of the nation. So thank you so much. I'm sending love, light, and peace to your way wherever you are around the world. My name is Maria Muni, and welcome to this exciting episode of the platform. We really want to appreciate you for tuning in to Immaculate Television this morning, and I'm sending peace to everybody that has been giving out peace on their own accord. And it's been a while. Then last week, that was on Tuesday, we went out there to go and showcase protesters that are protesting for against police brutality in Nigeria, in Oyo State, Ibadan here, and we did a lot of covering. And you can go back to our page to go and check so many other things that we have put up concerning this NSAS protest. And today, I'm here with a guest, and that is going to explain to us extensively about this police brutality, what it really entails, the details, what we really need to discuss about this police brutality. And as a station, we are here to actually trash out and discuss what it is to be discussed. Thank you so very much. I'll just go on this quick break, then I'll be right back with more questions from my guests.
In Abuja, they started
They
her
fixed me from the ATM.
from the ATM. They took your money, 20,000 naira from you.
They don't keep person. Wait now. See, they don't shoot out from our straight bullet. Straight bullet.
You're welcome back. I should have said that viewers' discretion is advised concerning that featured break that I went to. But okay, I'm so sorry for that. But notwithstanding, we really need to discuss this and we really need to talk about it. I have my guest in the house. Have Professor Oyesoji Aremu, Department of Guidance and Counseling and Institute for Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ibadan. And he's a counseling psychologist and a criminal justice expert that is vast when it comes to resourcing of police studies, and also he's a former director of Distance Learning Center, University of Ibadan. It's a pleasure having you here today.
Good morning.
It's good that you're a psychologist. Before I actually go into that, I'll just say that you as a psychologist, why do you think that the youth is agitated against this police brutality now? The police brutality didn't start yesterday, it didn't start today, it didn't even start 2 years ago. Why now? Why is it now?
Well, thank you so much. When we talk about why are the youth going out now protesting against police brutality or police violence, it has to do with so many fundamental issues. Number one, there's something we need to know about the youth, talking about they are full of energy, they are full of vision. And talking about this generation, we talk of youth that are digital natives, who understand what's going on in their environment, and outside their environment, they are active on social media. They know what goes on about everywhere. Then they are also listening one way or the other to what's going on in other places. You will recall that I think a few months ago we have something similar to this in the United States of America, when youths and Americans were protesting. Even in UK too, and some other places as well. So you know what, the youth in Nigeria have been seeing this, And the more they see it, the more they try to suppress this anger, and so on and so forth. And there's a limit to which you can suppress anger. At the point in time, it will burst out. So that's exactly what is happening right now. And again, that's explaining even the police, the youth conduct, the youth psychology when it comes to other things. But not talking about police violence or police brutality, that itself has been with us for a very long time. It didn't start 2-3 years ago. We do hear this issue of accidental discharge and so on and so forth, which comes under extrajudicial killing and so on and so forth. For a very long time and many years, the youths have internalized this repression, this attitude, this anger. But at a point in time, there will be a way out of which anger will come out. And this is exactly what is happening now. And unfortunately, let me put it that way on code, the social media is also giving grand support for this. And the body is why we are having this vociferous protest going about in Nigeria right now, even outside Nigeria.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. Well, my question, I would have loved to go into the psychologist and everything like that, but I'm going to put a stop to that to ask a question of the fact that the IGP has come out before to say that, okay, SARS has been disbanded, and we have youth saying that, okay, there was a time it was disorganized, there was a time it was disbanded, there was a time it was reorganized, there was a time it was reformed. There was a time we have FSARS, that they said that there is no state SARS again, that we now have federal SARS. And SARS actually means Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is basically for armed robbers. What I'm trying to say in essence is just that, why is it that police can actually profile you by appearance and just assume that you are a criminal? Is it you as a psychologist? That's why I'm asking this question. That psychologically, is it possible that you look at a person and you just assume or know that is it part of their training to just know a criminal, but just by appearance?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think before even I will talk about the police, we need to note one thing, and that is the fact that by the time you see an individual, you may probably when we come out with some impressions about the individual. That is true. The more you see him, you can have kind of impression about the individual. But that impression is at the level of just observation. For you to be able to profile the individual better and truly know what he or she is, talking about his or her personality, you need to engage the individual in discussions. You need, again, if possible, give the individual some psychological test. And again, by that you provide the individual, you need to know the background of the individual. By that you put all these indices on the table, you can come out and say, Mr. A or Mr. B is this or that. But this, the police personnel don't do. And coming back to your question now, that is it part of their training? I will say no. I will say no. No in the sense that I believe one thing about the police conduct is that they are trained, of course, to detect crimes. Is to detect crime. That is it. And essentially, the idea is also to be proactive. So before the crime really is unleashed on the society, they have to be proactive and arrest such a situation. But that's one. But if the crime is now in the society, they have now also to be reactive. So that's what we call proactive policing and reactive policing. The most important thing is to engage what we refer to as proactive policing. So the kind of training I want to say that the police receive in Nigeria, especially the recruits, talking about the recruits. You know, we have the cadets, we have the recruits. Now, the cadets are those who finish from colleges or universities or polytechnics, who have degree holders. But the recruits are just people who are maybe at the level of school start, which which may not be probably 6 credits at the city and so on and so forth. So at that level, so we have to kind of training. The training at police colleges is not as refined as the training in what do you call it?
At cadets.
At cadet, that is police academy. It's not the same thing, which is at Wudil in Kano. It's not the same thing. So at that point in time, the training at Wudil in Kano is much more strong, deeper, sophisticated, in which they receive real psychological training. But majority of those you see on the street are those who finish from police colleges. So they don't have that kind of deep training. Mainly they are trained to just handle guns and so on and so forth. So that should say that at the level of recruitment or enlistment, something is fundamentally missing, and that is the psychological aspect of it. You don't just ask somebody to come and join an organization by looking at his physique and what he is parading in terms of certificate or credentials. You also have to profile the individual, and you can only do that by giving such an individual some psychological tests for you to be able to understand, for us to be able to understand his personality, what kind of personality he possesses. When people have diverse personality, there are some people, but then you see them just one at the slightest hint of provocation, they flare up. So they can absorb that kind of thing. And there are some who can really go through things, who are what you refer to as emotional intelligence, and so on and so forth. So for that very reason, that could account for one of the reasons why we have police violence and police brutality. And beyond that, again, we need to understand basic things about the police, either here or outside here. Number one, that's the sociological dimension of the individual. He is part of the society, he knows what happened in the society, he's part of the frustration in the society. And that itself could precipitate him to also unleash violence one way or the other. That's one. We also talk about the psychological component of the individual, how the individual is made, which I talked about the other time. There are some people, no matter what you do to them, like I did the other time, they won't react. And there are some, don't just make it, when you know it, they flare up and so on. And the last one is the organization, culture. And that's talking about the culture of the police itself in Nigeria. You know, every organization has a culture. If I join an organization and I'm coming out with a personality, with time I will get myself used to that culture and I will behave to that culture. So there's a culture of police in Nigeria, and that culture is a culture of violence, culture of repelling people, culture of not giving courtesy. And for that very reason, no matter how good I am, but I join the organization, I also behave to time. So those three things could also determine conduct or behavior of an average police officer in Nigeria.
Thank you so very much. That is a deep one coming from my psychologist. I'm so happy for you that you are here. Okay, so the point is just that in order to create a balance and not to be biased about this police brutality, I'm talking from different sides now. Now, another thing I want us to look at is the fact that do you think our police officers are underpaid compared to outside Nigeria, whereby people have, the police have access to some things? And apart from that, apart from the fact that some quarters, I'm just going to say this right and direct, some quarters believes that the recruitment of police is somehow, just like you said something is missing.
Yes, fundamentally.
There is one police officer that came on national TV, came anonymously, phone-in program to discuss how some of these things came to happen. That these so-called political talks, they will come out and they will say, okay, we have guns, we have this thing, and our Oga is now in the office, and sir, what should I do? Don't worry, when the police lot comes in, I'm just going to put you in there. That some of these political talks are being recruited into the SAS, that is Special Anti-Robbery Squad. So in a way, that is why so many of our politicians are sitting back and being silent about this police brutality. I'm quoting it directly from a police officer that decided to remain anonymous on a national TV. So, sir, do you think that those people that are being unanimously being recruited into the police recruitment service or something, are they supposed to be carrying guns?
Thank you so much. I think you asked two questions. The very first one has to do with what they get in terms of allowances and salaries. I would say, and I've really carried out some extensive studies in that area, that the Nigerian police personnel are poorly paid. They are poorly paid. And for that very reason, that itself could account for many things in terms of their behavior.
I would just like to chip in that before you continue to answer the question. I would just like to say that teachers are also underpaid.
Yes, I know.
Why are they not?
No, you see, don't worry. You see, the other time I talked about organizational culture. Yeah, teachers also have their culture in the organization, kind of a thing. In other words, it's another thing if you want to go into that. In other words, I'm a teacher, and for that very reason, society sees me as one, and for that very reason, I don't have to tolerate, and the idea of saying my reward is in heaven. It's also part of it. But for an average police officer, his reward is not in heaven. His reward is there on the road, on the street. And that's why he gets what he gets. So they are poorly paid, I must say that. And for that very reason, that will account for many of their behaviors, one way or the other. Number two, you talk about the anonymous officer who mentioned probably read out so many things. I think I quite agree with him to some extent that I do not have my facts. As a researcher, I don't talk about what I don't have my facts, and I don't have a fact. But the moment you see those personnel of SARS, one way or the other, you begin to ask questions internally. Are these truly police officers? The way and manner they dress, what they put on, and kind of a thing, and where you even find them at times, just randomly you find them in the corner, and kind of you then begin to wonder: are these armed robbers or police officers who are on duty? So for him to have said probably that their political talks reached into the force, where it still at the level of an assumption. I want to say that I wouldn't say categorically, but he may be correct. But again, the idea is to say that again, whether they are used by politicians or not, I would say yes, they are used by politicians for many reasons. You see, you find many of these crime in the society after political electionary has come to an end. So and when they don't find nothing doing again. And for one reason or the other, when it comes to the issue of recruitment to the police, I tell you, other than the age factor and many other factors that the police organization put down for you to be enlisted to the force, another factor that is not open is the political patronage on the part of political leaders who want their wards. When I say wards, I'm not talking about their direct children. And you have another word, people to be enlisted into the police force. They get notes, they get cards, and kind of a thing. So people who genuinely ought to be enlisted are not enlisted. People who genuinely ought to be recruited are not recruited. And this instead is political, a kind of a political undertone towards the recruitment. And by the time we have all these things, I tell you, it will culminate into something else later in the future. This is why we have been canvassing that before you will recruit anybody into the force, either at the level of recruitment or enlistment or cadet officers, no matter what the individual has done, passing all the training, all the exercise, everything, exams, so to say, the leader should be also taken through, let's profile the individual using appropriate psychological tests to be able to know where he will fit in the system. You know, for example, now those of you in the media now, not everybody will sit with me like you do. Some people are good at writing, some people are good at talking, and so on and so on. So ditto for what should be in the police. When you are enlisted, you will know what this and this. Look, let me take you back to 2007. I was invited by the Dubai police for a program. I tell you, over there, everything is departmentalized, and you find only university graduates in Dubai who join the police. Wow. And for that very reason, you will see the way he will behave, one way or the other. And that said, even by the time they join the police, the Dubai police, it's not everybody you will see in the office. It's not everybody you will see on the road. You see, there are intelligence officers and so on and so forth. You know what? So in other words, you just don't bring me into the force and say because I passed this and that, so you then hand over gun to me, I go ahead to the street and be doing this. No, it is wrong. I think that is also fundamentally wrong about police culture, police organization, and police, police training in Nigeria.
Thank you so very much. Our time is very much fast spent, and a lot of questions are still yet being unanswered. And I'm just going to go for this quick commercial break, and I'll be right back with more questions. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening on the ground. welcome back. It's still the platform on Immaculate Television, and thank you so very much for staying tuned with us. And I have been discussing with Professor Oyesoji, Aremu-psychologist, and that has been discussing about the police brutality that has been the trend in Nigeria's past. And he said something that I'm trying to still wrap my head around, that there is something fundamentally missing in training of our police officers. And now my next question should be this. Everybody is on the road. That's what people are saying. Like, okay, so we have Last Man on the road, that is for Lagos, and we have our own Yeso here on the road. We have the Oitma on the road. We have the SARS on the road. We have the police on the road. We have the what they call it, the soldiers on the road. We have VIO on the road. We have the FRSC on the road. Is it that because
and the NDLA officer too
on the road? Like, is it just
custom on the road?
On the road,
yes.
Like every of the force, including EFCC, they are now on the road. They will be like, okay, this road that leads to so place is where, you understand what I'm trying to say? This is where the Yahoo guys pass through, so it's better we just ambush them here. What I'm trying to say in essence is just that, is it just that in our police force, everybody has to be on the road? Is there no intelligence department, just like you said, are they supposed to be on the road to actually to get criminals?
Thank you so much. You see, all the people you mentioned, all the politicians you mentioned that are on the road, yeah, they are all carrying out policing functions. And that is where also we miss it in this country. And that is why, again, I would say that the Nigerian police force has been disembarked.
Please, I just quickly want to jump in this. Yes. And why is it that everybody asks for your vehicle particulars?
Yes, again, what I'm trying to say is that it's because of many fundamental issues that we have really got it in a very wrong way. Ideally, all those things you talk about are the functions of the Nigerian police. Ideally, I must say that. So, the custom officer has no business being on the road. NDLA officer has no business being on the road. Name it, they have no business being on the road. These are part of functions of the Nigerian police. But one way or the other, gradually the Nigerian police is being disembarked. And for one reason or the other, bit by bit, people coming out of the police. Look at the national defense, civil defense.
Yes.
It's part of the police. But again, so they are part of the police, and for that very reason, I think police organization in Nigeria has really suffered a lot. I must give it that. I must say that. Because having studied that organization for more than 2 decades now, I really understand the psychology of the organization. But having said that now, so we don't need to do that for us to be able to do our function. Yes, there should be checks, particularly and so on and so forth. But if we have true, what they call it, automation, you will know who and who have not registered into a vehicle. This is not happening in civilized countries. You will know that you are supposed to go and register and call and so. But again, I must say that even members of the public also, we should blame them. If probably by November 30, I know by what they call it, vehicle particulars due for renew, nobody should tell me I have to go there. But because our people will also not do that, for that very reason, you now find all these people that are checking this particular, checking that particulars. So it is really a problem in this part of the country, part of the world.
Okay, now my next question is just that this is one of the most peaceful protests ever organized. And the youth are organizing this, and I'm also on Twitter, so in a way, I'm following up all the processes and as it's happened. And they'll just put out a line out there, like all the social media influencers, they come together and they'll be like, okay, so you can drop this also money into this account to support the protest in case you are not out there. You cannot be out there to join the protest. So they're dropping money in. So in a way, we have people that will pack the litters. We have people that will help with so many things. People that will help with the foods, people that brings in water, because, okay, maybe you guys need water, we'll get you water, and so many other things like that. And in a way, even nobody is carrying guns except for placards, and we still have a lot of life that has been lost. You, as a psychologist that studied, that has vast knowledge concerning this police resource, are the police force being threatened? Just youth carrying placards?
No, they are not being threatened. They are not being threatened.
So why the retaliation?
Peaceful protest is allowed. It's a way of expressing your feelings either to an individual, to an institution, or even to a government as we have right now. So those protests are in order because these are peaceful protests. And I want to commend Nigerian youths for being peaceful in this sense. Again, so police have no business in probably reacting in a very terrible way that we've seen in some places, Ogbomoso, even in Lagos, and so on and so forth. Surulere, where we have people being killed. That's come under extrajudicial killing, and for that very reason, one feels bad about it. And again, like you did say, I also got the message that people should send money, kind of a thing, and it shows that this time around, whether we like it or not, Nigerian youths are not speaking, and this is a wake-up call for the government. I want to see it as a revival of sorts. Revival of idea in Nigeria, revival of reasons in Nigeria, that the time has come for the Nigerian youth to say, look, enough is enough. I don't want to say to get that somebody said. So for this reason, I think governments either at state or federal level are being put in check.
Yeah.
And for that very reason, leaders will think twice before they do everything. You see, we should not forget about what happened in Egypt some years ago, talking about Arab Spring. It's how it started. And government has to probably do something about this. And for us to be able to say, Nigerian youths are not saying that we want lawlessness in the society, but as much as possible, let's do something in a more civilized way. Yeah, you talk about the issue of Yahoo boys. Yeah, that's come under cyber crime. You see, if you want to detect cyber criminals, you can't detect cyber criminals on the road. You use also cyber technology, cyber reasoning, and cyber intelligence for you to be able to detect cyber criminals. It's not on the road. That I drive my car and I'm going about, you look at me the way I appear now, in a very simple way. So if a policeman should stop me, you will not say the police is stopping a professor. Not only that, even a person that talks about it, that has studied him and his organization. But I need to ask questions. And then, why did you get this kind of a thing? You see, these are not needed. If probably anybody is suspected, what you should do is to invite the individual to the station for chats. From the speaking, from the discussion, everything, you get to know what he or she does for a living. If you have anything to provide him or further, you can then go ahead and do that. But asking you, checking your phone, checking your laptops, these are not good. And it is against the norm in the society. Talking about even the individual privacy, so to say.
Thank you so very much. I have been discussing with Professor Oyesoji Aremu, and he is a psychologist and from Department of Guardians and Counseling and Institute of Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ibadan. He's a counseling psychologist, like I said, and criminal justice expert. He also has a vast resources on police studies, and he's a former director of Distance Learning Center, University of Ibadan. And I'm so glad having him here. And one of the things that I said, apart from the fact that he has stated everything that is fundamentally wrong with the training of police and policing in this country, he also said something that that's actually caught my attention, talking about profiling a criminal just by saying that a lot needs to be put in place before you can actually say this person is a criminal beyond reasonable doubt. And that will be all for today. There are still so many questions. He's still coming back on Tuesday to discuss some more about this police brutality, because it's not going anywhere soon. Thank you so very much for joining me today. Have a very lovely day. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening on the ground.